October 2020, 6 months into the COVID lockdown. Do you remember what that was like? Try and think back, man. Try and remember how you were spending your days during the lockdown. Just content, wasn't it? I'll speak for myself, man. From falling asleep to Netflix playing on my laptop every night, from every night being terrified that I might fall asleep and just kick my laptop off of the bed and break it, to waking up every morning and first thing in the morning before my eyes were even fully open, starting to scroll through Instagram, to always having YouTube open on another tab as I had my lectures going on. In the final year of my bachelor's at this point. And for the past 3 years, since my first year, I had been promising myself that my final year I'm gonna get my shit together. Final year I'm gonna start studying. Final year I'm gonna improve my grades. And here I was. Final year, 24/7, constantly just exclusively consuming content. For 6 months, I never went a second without either watching something or listening to something or just consuming content in some form or the other. From having to take my phone with me and start scrolling even as I was taking a piss, to always making sure I had my speaker charged up so that I could be listening to something while taking a shower, to anytime I was grabbing something to eat from the kitchen, I would make sure that I put on a YouTube video playing in the background so that I could be listening to it. For 6 months, never went a second without consuming some form of content. So this one day, just like every other day, I start my day off with a couple of hours on Instagram. I then open up Netflix to watch something with my breakfast, and then I spend the next 3-4 hours alternating between Call of Duty Mobile and Clash of Clans. It's lunchtime now. I go to the kitchen and grab my lunch, of course, a YouTube video playing in the background. I get my plate to my room. I pause the video on my phone and continue it on my computer. Then I start eating. It's 3:30 p.m. Been an hour or so since I finished lunch and a reminder pops up that says, wash face. This was the one good thing I was doing during this period of time. I'd gotten a lot of acne and I'd decided to take control of it, so I'd gotten myself onto a skincare routine. And just to make sure I didn't forget, I had this daily reminder set to remind me to wash my face. The reminder pops up, and for the next 45 minutes I procrastinate on it. I say, okay, I'll get to it, just one more video. So finally, after 5 videos, I finally get myself to stop. I open up my phone, I start some video up so that I can have it playing in the background as I'm washing my face. So I take my phone with me to the bathroom and I put it right beside me on the wash basin. And just as I finished rubbing the face wash on my hands, I hear the audio stop. I look at my phone and I see it's out of battery. Honestly, man, I was so addicted at this point, I had half a mind to just rinse off my hands, charge my phone and come back, wash my face later. But I said, fuck it. Let me just go ahead with it, let me just get done with this, and then I can go back and watch whatever I want to. How long does it take to wash your face? 3 minutes? 4? Let's say 5. 5 minutes later, I come out of my bathroom. I finish washing my face. I come out of my bathroom. I close everything. I put everything aside. I close my YouTube tabs and I get to work. After 6 months of trying, after 6 months of promising myself and requesting myself and really trying and failing to get shit done, 5 minutes later, 5 minutes earlier, I had the plan to just come back out of the bathroom and finish and continue with my YouTube binge, continue watching whatever I was watching. 5 minutes later, I completely change my mind and I do something that I hadn't been able to for 6 months. Of course, nothing changed overnight. The very next day, I go back to spending my days exactly the same way, back to my exact same routine. But this thought stuck with me, this idea stuck with me that, okay, wait, what happened over here? And that is exactly what I want to talk to you about today. What was it? What happened in those 5 minutes? What thoughts, what magical thoughts did I have in those 5 minutes that allowed me to break out of a 6-month slump and start to do things different. My hypothesis is that nothing was different. My thoughts were the exact same as they had been for the past 6 months. My desires were the same. My want to improve things for myself was the same. The only difference, the only thing different about these 5 minutes was that for the first time in 6 months, I wasn't able to distract myself from these thoughts. These thoughts had always been there, my mind was always there. The only problem was that there was this barrier that didn't let these thoughts through. And that is what I think is the root cause of the discomfort, the restlessness, the frustration, the agitation that so many of us feel so very often. The fact that there are all these thoughts building up and bubbling up and trying to break free, trying to get through to you constantly, and you constantly distract yourself with the content, with consuming things, with busying your mind, listening to and watching and just consuming other content that doesn't let your own thoughts through to your mind. See, I believe that there's this success mechanism within each and every one of us. That there's this voice within that tries to guide us, that tries to help us achieve our goals, but we just block it out. We don't listen to it. It's like a mentor trying to help you, a mentor who genuinely wishes the best for you, who wants to help you succeed, who's speaking to you, who's telling you things, but you have noise-canceling headphones on. You want his help. You are confused in life. You're thinking, what do I do, man? He knows the answers. He's trying to help you. But as long as there's this wall, as long as there's this barrier up, he just can't reach you. You don't need a course on how to improve your life. You don't even need this video right now, man. You don't need to be listening to me, because everything that I can say, anything and everything that anyone can say to help you is automatically gonna come from within anyway. But the only problem, the only thing is that you're more likely to listen to me than to that voice within. I say this to my clients all the time, that you know deep within that everything that I'm saying to you is correct, is right? Because there are clients who are 30, 40, 50 years old, and I make them try out things, I make them do things that they've never in their whole lives. For instance, a client very recently, 48 years old, I made him start to wake up at 4 a.m. I didn't push him to 4 a.m. I just told him, let's have you start to wake up earlier. And over time, we pushed it to the extent that he was waking up at 4 a.m. consistently. He still is. But again, I said this to him, that man, you knew all along, all these years, you didn't allow yourself to do this, but you knew that you knew that this was the right thing to do. That's the only reason you listened to me. If I'd come and said to you, here's what we do, we'll have you sleeping at noon from now on, and we'll have you waking up around midnight, and that's the routine that we build. If I'd said that to you on our first call, you never would have shown up for a second, right? So there are these things, there is this voice within that tells you these things. That's why when you listen to something that's right, you agree with it. You're like, yes, this is what I should do, because that voice within has been saying the same thing to you all along, man. There is this success mechanism within each and every one of us. The only problem is that you cannot listen to two things at once. As long as even this video, as long as you're just sitting here watching this video, you cannot listen to that voice within. The only way to listen to it is to put everything aside and force yourself to just be there, force yourself to just exist, force yourself to be bored. It's in boredom. It's during the times when you have no way to distract yourself that voice is finally able to, it's talking to you all of that time, but it's only then that you're able to finally listen to it. So embrace boredom. Embrace just sitting there and doing nothing, because it's in doing nothing that you get the best ideas of your life. It's in doing nothing that you make lifelong changes. It's in doing nothing that you come up with these things that change your entire life. So sit there, do nothing, embrace the boredom, and in doing that, make your dreams a reality, one day at a time.